Listen, any copywriter or creative strategist with more than one brain cell knows all the money's in the research. You can be the best goddamn creative strategist in the world. You can make movies that would make Peter Jackson cry, but you, my friend, if you skimp out on that research, your ads are not gonna hit. They will be mid, they will be bad, they will be very not good. On the contrary, if you nail the research, you can produce the ugliest, most mediocre, disgusting looking, extremely unattractive ads, and they will run circles around your competitors. Circles, dude. There's only one problem. Research done well takes many, many man hours, woman hours. And I'm busy, you're busy, we ain't got time for that. You know who does have time for that? Claude. Claude Cowork can now do 2 days of creative research before you even finish your morning cup of coffee. One of my students and our good friends, Sam, was charging $300 for advertorials that made his client over $50 million last year. Ouch. And at our Bali intensive in April, he opened up the framework that he built inside Claude Cowork and showed the whole room his $50 million creative strategy workflow. Slightly more useful than typing, write me 10 advertorials, and praying the robot finds a banger. That demo made something painfully obvious. The top 1% creative strategists are putting their own processes inside Cowork and code, not chat. Chat is like so 2025. Come on, guys. Then they let the machine work through the slow stuff while they keep the judgment call that actually makes the money. That is how one strategist starts doing the work of a small team without hiring 3 juniors and becoming a full-time babysitter. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, Cowork and code can move through files, browsers, and apps without you feeding it the next prompt every 30 seconds, which is sick right up until it makes one bad call early and hides it under 40 pages of very tidy bullshit. There is one step where that usually happens, and you get your research wrong, you are cooked, buddy. You're gonna be building all your ad ideas, all your scripts on a foundation of dog shit, and then wondering why your ads don't convert. No idea. And don't worry, I will show you that exact step later in this video. So we're gonna get this little robot to do all our research for us, but we're gonna guide the little robot using our beautiful prefrontal cortexes up here to ensure we get the absolute best output from it. But first, I'm gonna show you the exact setup that stops Claude guessing. Then I will show you how to use it for the research that normally eats half your week. And before we finish, I'll show you how to check the work without reading every single line like Diddy in a courtroom. Hey? There's no one there. By the end, you'll have a Cowork workflow you can add almost any brand and start pulling real intel from straight away. The prompt monkeys are gonna love this one because they're gonna use it to get busier, but the operators like you and me, we're gonna use it to take a much bigger seat. Once again, we are the head, Claude is the hands. Let's put this puppy to the test and see what it can do. So here's the first thing most of you would do with a new client. You'd open Cowork, type research this brand, paste in the website, and hit send. Fucking amateur hour. I got Cowork pulled up right now on my screen. We're gonna do a full end-to-end run to understand exactly how this process and prompting works in real time. We're gonna be using Gymshark for the demo because, hey, we all know what they sell, and honestly, God bless Ben Francis. Now, I've already generated the brand research and customer data for this demonstration, so none of it should be treated as genuine Gymshark research. If you're okay, Ben, if you're watching this. So the first step is to have Claude research the brand. But before I hit send, I need to make a Cowork project to keep the context for this brand. So of course, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to projects and we're gonna create a new project. I'm gonna call this Gymshark demo because that's what we're doing. Now think about this project as the room where Claude works on your client. In this case, it would be Gymshark. The files, the rules, and anything it learns stays tied to this project right here. So I don't have to explain Gymshark from scratch every single time I wanted to make an ad. It already has all the context in its brain. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna upload my 2 research docs right here from my downloads folder to give it more context on my client. Now, ideally you wanna use markdown files, not PDFs. Plays a little nicer with AI, requires less compute to unpack it. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. So PDF it is. Now, the context pack gives Claude the basic rules of the brand before it starts researching. What the company sells, who the customer is, how the brand communicates, what claims it can make, and which ones are off limits. Which is quite a lot on meta ads, unfortunately. Now, with the real client, I would obviously build this from the real brief, their brand voice, their approved claims, control ads, and the creative they already know has worked. The second file we have here is the customer data. Now, for this public demo, I am gonna use public reviews because that's all I got. With the real client, this is where I would also add customer calls, surveys, support tickets, comments, and literally anything else where buyers explain themselves in their own words why they bought, just like we cover in CMB with the Intel engine. If you know, you know. But I'm not gonna open 20 folders and give you a guided museum tour of every PDF. Cowork can read, the job is to put the right files in the room before the machine starts chewing through them. Then I give it one project instruction. And because we're in 2026 and typing is for fucking cavemen, I'm obviously gonna use Wispr Flow. If you're not using Wispr Flow, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life. It's like you hate being productive or something. Link in the description if you want to get your first month for free. So you can type at the speed of your mouth instead of the speed of those clunky Italian sausage fingers. Thank me later. Use the files in this project before starting any task. If important information is missing, ask me before you guess. Do not create angles, briefs, hooks, or scripts until the research has been reviewed. Bam. That one prompt stops Claude from turning one review into an entire customer avatar like it loves to do, and cranking out 10 ads that no one asked for because Sally Poopy Pants 69 had a bad experience with her leggings. Poor Sally. And now Claude thinks Gymshark's a scam. Now, before I send Claude Cowork off into the wild, I make sure it has all the information it needs. So this is the exact prompt you can copy to do the same thing. We're gonna save that. We're gonna go to a chat, make sure it's set to Cowork. I'm gonna use Fable 5, obviously, because that shit's the fucking GOAT. If you're only on the pro plan, not the max plan, well, maybe implement my fucking videos here on YouTube and you actually make some money by now, instead of sitting around watching other channels with these fake gurus who have no idea what they're talking about. But I digress. We're not here to make fun of Clown 4D. We don't do that on this channel. We keep it classy around here, okay? Did that slip out? But if you are really balling on a budget and you can't swing Fable, just use whatever you can afford, okay? You gotta use Opus, you gotta use Opus. It's okay, we all start somewhere. Read the context pack and customer review document. Tell me what you already know, what is only a working assumption, and what you still need from me before you research the US market. Bam. And we're gonna set that shit loose into the wild. This gives me the missing pieces before Claude opens the browser. It might flag that the product is too broad, the market is unclear, or something inside the files still needs some real evidence. Because AI loves to make shit up, and I would rather fix that now than discover Claude has built 40 pages on top of something that is clearly fabricated. And then Ben Francis comes running after me. I don't need that heat. Now, once I answer those questions, Cowork knows exactly what it's hunting for. Then I send it into the market with 4 questions. And that 4th question is usually where the top tier bangers are hiding. All right, so it's read the documents. It took all of 30 seconds. Here's everything it knows. Here's everything it's assuming. And here's everything it needs from me. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna answer its questions. Number 1, both. I want customer pains, voice of customers, competitors. I want the whole lot. I want everything you got. Category focus. Researching all of them properly is a week of work. Yeah, not a week of work for me, buddy. That's why you're doing the shit for me. You're the cracked out AI of the alien technology. You're gonna research this shit for me. Thank you very much. Fuck else do you think I'm paying you for? Number 3, who's the target for this pass? I want the majority hook. I want the biggest buyer pool where they make the most money from, okay? The bullseye target of this customer avatar. Where to look? Reddit, Trustpilot, Amazon, TikTok, Instagram, comments, competitors' reviews, all of the above. Fable, don't you dare be lazy. Number 5, confirmed. Number 6, I want you to give me a short list of the top competitors so we can hunt them down one by one. Eat their lunch. Thank you very much. Now it's my turn to ask the questions around here, okay? So most people at this point would simply just say, all right, go off and research Gymshark for me. And then wonder why Claude gives them back a tidy school project about the brand. But that's not you, my friend, okay? You've been watching my videos for months now, so you should know better than that. And if you haven't, by the way, my name is Sean Ferres. It's great to meet you. I've been running meta ads since 2019. I've made about $6 million from my ads as my side hustle and helped 85 copywriters hit a 6-figure income and made a combined $1 billion for their clients. I turned copywriters into 6-figure creative strategists, and now I'm bald. There you go. You're all caught up. Lovely. Now I'm going to force Cowork to actually generate research that's worth building ads from. And the easiest way to do that is by asking these 4 questions. A Fable, while you're at it, I want you to research the market specifically around Gymshark's women leggings in the US and answer these 4 questions. Number 1, what result is the customer actually trying to get? Number 2, what makes them start looking now and not later? Number 3, what stops them from buying? And number 4, what have they already tried and why did it disappoint them? Use the context pack and the customer review documents in this project, then collect evidence from relevant public sources such as customer discussions, competitor pages, social comments, and other useful public sources that you deem useful. Keep separate customer types separate, show the source for every important finding, and do not write hooks, angles, briefs, or scripts yet. Bam. There we go. Now it knows what it's actually searching for rather than stumbling around blind in the dark, trying to guess what you want it to do. All right. Now we let the bloodhound loose into the wild and it knows exactly what it's hunting for. And it's going to come back with some premium, primo quality research. Now this prompt is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for us. Here's why those 4 questions beat the 400-word ultimate research prompts you see online that you nicked from Twitter. Sue me. The first question, what result is the customer actually trying to get? Stops Claude giving me the dead answer. They want leggings. No shit, dude. Jalisha wants leggings. I want leggings too. We all want leggings. Jalisha, you look fucking great in those leggings, by the way. That tells me nothing. I want to know what the leggings are supposed to fix. Do they want to feel more confident? Do they want to stop pulling the waistband up between sets? Do they want to trust the fabric when they do heavy squats? Moment of silence for weak fabric during heavy squats. The second question, what makes them start looking now and not later, tells me why they are shopping now. They may have just joined a gym, changed size, or maybe finally been their old pair after those heavy squats. Oof. That trigger tells me which angle is actually relevant. The third question, what stops them from buying, shows me what could actually kill the purchase. It could be the sizing, the quality, the price, the fabric going see-through, or another influencer overselling a very average pair of leggings. Listen, we all been there. And number 4, what have they actually tried and why did it disappoint? Shows me what's already let them down. One pair rolled down, another fit nothing like the photos, and the last one turned out to be just influencer hype. Or some premium quality online e-com store that was actually just an e-com bro's side hustle being drop shipped from China, like most e-com stores. Hate to break it to you. Now, by the end of this, I know exactly what the buyer wants, why they want it now, what they already distrust, and what the creative has to prove. Look at this thing, cooking the research. What a time to be alive, guys. So instead of giving Cowork some giant research the market prompt and praying it comes back with a banger, I give it 4 jobs it can't dodge. The assignment is very clear. That gives me usable intel instead of 30 pages of NPC waffle about how Jaleisha loves her leggings. Jaleisha, seriously, you look fire in those leggings, girl. Glute maxing plan is working. Tell your trainer Ryan I said hi. We're overdue for a coffee. Then I let the machine do the digging while I keep the strategy seat. Have a coffee maybe with Ryan, go off, eat some steak, maybe go to the gym, go for a walk, go make another one of those weekly YouTube videos that I promised you 5 years ago. It's been a busy year. We got to start somewhere, okay? I'm gonna go cook a steak. It's gonna be very juicy, very tender, very delicious. And I'm gonna come back when this shit's done. I'll see you in a moment. All right, steak is finished. It was fucking delicious. Thanks for asking. Oh boy, that's a lot of leggings. Guess I wasn't the only one cooking tonight. Still no one there. Good Lord. So, Fable's come back with the research. I will ignore the shiny summary for now. Instead, I get to turn every useful finding into an evidence ledger. So I can check the claims, the sources, and the gaps without having to scroll through 40 pages of AI slop. Hey Fable buddy, this was fantastic. Thank you so much. Now I want you to turn the research you just completed into an evidence ledger. Give every major finding its own row and include the customer situation, the exact evidence, the original source. It's me. I'm the original source. Which of the 4 research questions it answers, the number of independent sources supporting it, and any evidence that it disagrees with. I want your interpretation. I want a confidence level. And I want you to keep your interpretation separate from the customer evidence. Do not create angles, briefs, hooks, or scripts yet. Let's go, fam. We are on. Now, when this table opens, I check the findings that look the strongest and I want to see how many different sources back them up. If the whole thing comes back from one angry Reddit post about one rolling waistband, well, I'm sending that shit back to the kitchen, okay? That is one angry Reddit post. And side note, fucks me why anyone uses Reddit. Seriously, do you not have anything better to do with your life than sit around the internet complaining about your problems? Grow up. Claude can call it a pattern all at once. I still want to see how much actual evidence is actually behind it. If the same issue appears across product reviews, Reddit threads, and YouTube comments, then we may have something worth digging into. Next, I'm gonna check the evidence that disagrees with it. Okay, this is important because if 5 customers report the waistband moving and another 50 say it never shifts, I'm gonna make some lazy claim about every pair of competitor leg. Okay, I go back, check the product, the size, and what they were doing when it happened. I'm fucking Sherlock Holmes in this bitch. I'm going deep on this research. In fact, actually, Robert Downey Jr. hit my line the other day, asked if I could take over from Sherlock Holmes from him when he retires. I'm too bald and too bad. I can't do it. I have too many important things to do, like making this YouTube video for you on Friday night at 10:20 p.m. You're very welcome. Thank me later. Now, because I don't have binocular vision, I'm gonna open this up in Google Drive so I can see it on my beautiful 5K monitor here in front of me. There we go. Opens up in Google Sheets right here. Now, it's got this column right here full of voice of customer quotes. It only gave me 22. Normally, I would want at least 50, but I don't want to be filming this video until midnight, okay? It's just a demo. It's got the original sources right there, and then each of those research questions that we asked before. Okay, you can see how this all ties together. And the disagreeing evidence. We're gonna play Claude against itself and ask it to disprove itself, okay? That is how you develop a very robust argument, because otherwise, you're drinking your own Kool-Aid, my friend. You're making up a narrative and you're like, yeah, that sounds good. Then you only look for supporting evidence of that narrative, and you have a very one-sided narrative, my friend. When you do this, oh yeah, now you are a well-rounded and balanced individual, okay? Wonderful. And this is the summary column that ties it all in together, as well as a confidence score right there, because we all know AI loves to hallucinate a little bit, okay? This is good stuff though. Look at this language. No more checking yourself at the gym or fixing your leggings throughout your workout. Clearly, can't say I've worn too many leggings in my life, but this must be a pain point for ladies who wear leggings. And then we got the disagreeing evidence, which in this instance happens to be none to be found. Confidence score, high. Chances of me using that as an ad angle, very high. And so on down you would go. Obviously, you would read all of these yourself if you're actually gonna be doing this for a fucking living, okay? Make sure the client gets some banger ads. Take your job seriously, right? Then, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna compare Claude's interpretation with the exact evidence that's sitting beside it. That catches the moment where one cautious customer somehow becomes a massive market truth. I know I keep bringing this up, but this really will fuck your research process. If you're using AI, I remember the first time I used AI to research the copywriting market, my God. You would think there is a fucking apocalypse and World War III happening at the same time with how much doomerism it came back with. Shit found this one whack ass blog called Blood in the Machine, which basically just this pessimist ass motherfucker who just thinks everything's fucked. Over indexed, did like half of the citations from that one site. And then it came back and it was like, nah, dude, you're cooked. Copywriters are fucking done. It's over. Go become a plumber. I was like, hey, Fable, there's people who hang out outside of doomerism blogs and Reddit, believe it or not. Why don't you go find some of them? You know, all of the active working copywriters making like 5 and 6 figures? Yeah, why don't you go find them and hear what they have to say? Because they're my actual ideal customers, not the fucking NPC scrubs on Reddit who've already decided they're not gonna make it in life. Okay, great. So now I can scan the strongest findings. I can open the original sources. I can decide which ones deserve more attention. And this is where the mistake I warned you about at the start finally shows up. So you might want to pay fucking attention. Every receipt can be real and Claude can still make the wrong strategic call with it. So let's just say this ledger over here shows several complaints about waistbands moving during training. Claude might take that and decide that every woman wants leggings that never roll down. Before I let it cook and build all my angles from that, I check what actually happened. Were they all wearing the same collection? Did it only happen while running? Was the size wrong? Did the other customers say the waistband stayed up? If I skip these checks, one small complaint becomes the whole customer story. This literally is the difference between doing the bare minimum, being a lazy ass creative strategist, using AI for everything, and skipping those checks and balances. I told you, the research is the most important part. If you cut corners here, you will pay later. And by you, I mean your client will pay on ads that don't work. Therefore, you will pay because you will no longer have a client because you'll have ads that don't work. Just saved your job. Thank me later. Might want to, I don't know, subscribe to my channel or like join us in CMB if you want to make some real money. It's where all the future 6-figure creative strategists are hanging out, just saying. So before anything moves into strategy, I run one final check. You're gonna paste the following prompt into that same Cowork task and let her rip. Fable, thank you once again. Now, I need you to review every finding that was marked with either medium or high confidence. And for each one, I need you to tell me which product it applies to, which customer situation it applies to, which evidence disagrees with it, what information is still missing, and whether the finding is specific enough to use it in our creative strategy. Don't write any angles yet. I know you want to cook. Just hold your horses. Wait for me to approve the findings before continuing. Bam. Now, what it's gonna do, it's gonna go add little checks next to each of the findings, make sure it's all good, review its own work. Typically, Fable is very, very good at reviewing its own work, at least compared to Opus. Y'all need to work on that, Anthropic, because sheesh. Seeing us had some airballs this week, dude. Now, at this point, when it comes back, I'm gonna bin anything that is flimsy, and I'm only gonna keep the few findings that I would actually put in front of a client. Those are the only ones that get turned into angles, briefs, and scripts. Cowork can do the grunt work, and it can stack the evidence, but choosing which idea deserves budget is still your job, my handsome friend. That is the line between using Cowork properly and letting the robot cosplay as the strategist. In which case, why does your client need you? They don't. Exactly. At this point, you have a research workflow you can point at almost any brand on the planet. You can give Cowork the context. You can send it out into the market with a clear job and check the strongest findings without reading 40 pages line by line. Pat yourself on the back. You are now officially a research master, a savant. I may even have to hand you the Sherlock Holmes mantle after I'm done with it. Now, if you want all the prompts from this video that I used right here, you gotta join us in the Creative Strategist Collective. It is a free school group I started for aspiring 6-figure creative strategists. We got 500 people in there right now, including some savage marketers. It's the place you wanna be if you're serious about this craft. And best of all, I made it free for you. You're welcome. We do reject 70% of applicants to keep the room quality high though, so if you get rejected, don't take it personally. Don't worry, it's nothing serious, just means we don't love you enough to let you in. And hey, it's all good. I got something else for you. The next video shows you what to do with all of this approved intel. It is my full creative strategy flywheel training, and I walk through all 9 parts of the job as a creative strategist. You'll see how to turn the research into angles, scripts, finished assets, and tests. and then package the whole skill so that clients pay you for your thinking instead of treating you like the dude or dudette who fills in the briefs. I also break down the receipts behind the system, including Leilani landing a $12,000 a month trial to hire opportunity on her very first application with one of the biggest brands in her space, and Andrew using the AI workflows so well that his client thought he was a full agency and doubled his retainer from $4,000 to $8,000 a month. Click the video on screen, grab a pen, and I'll see your handsome self over there in just a second.